Everyone said working for the Kingsley triplets was a nightmare. The mansion was big and shiny like a castle, but every maid who entered left crying before sunset. Some said the triplets threw food at them. Others said they locked doors for fun. No one lasted a day. The triplets, Ethan, Liam, and Noah, were sons of the famous billionaire, Mr. Richard Kingsley. Their mother had died when they were 5, and since then, they became wild, spoiled, and impossible to control. Every maid who came tried her best, but always failed. Until one morning, a woman named Amara Brown knocked on the gate. She was not rich. She had no fancy clothes, but her smile was calm, her voice soft, and her eyes carried strength that came from pain and patience. The guards almost laughed when she said, "I'm here for the maid job." Inside, Mr. Kingsley raised an eyebrow. "Are you sure?" he asked. "No maid lasts a day here." Amara smiled. "Then I'll try for 2. The moment she entered the mansion, she heard shouting and laughter upstairs. The triplets were throwing pillows, juice, and even books at each other. The floor was a mess. Instead of yelling, Amara quietly started cleaning. When one boy poured milk on the floor beside her, she simply smiled and handed him a towel. "Help me clean this, sweet boy," she said kindly. He froze. No one had ever called him sweet. By nightfall, the triplets were silent, confused, and secretly watching her. For the first time, someone didn't run away. And as Mr. Kingsley watched from the hallway, he whispered to himself, "Who is this woman?" The next morning, the Kingsley mansion was strangely calm. Usually, it was filled with the sound of shouting, broken glass, and running feet. But that day, a soft smell of pancakes and honey filled the air. Amara was in the kitchen, wearing a white apron and humming quietly as she flipped pancakes. The sunlight touched her dark skin, and her face glowed with peace. The house that once felt cold now felt alive again. The triplets woke up late and came downstairs one after another, rubbing their eyes. Ethan, the oldest, frowned the moment he saw her. "You're still here?" he asked, surprised. "Yes, I am," Amara said gently, placing a plate in front of him. "Good morning, Ethan. I made breakfast for you and your brothers." Ethan sat slowly. No maid had ever stayed past breakfast before. Liam, the playful one, decided to test her. He poured his orange juice on the floor and crossed his arms, waiting to see her get angry or cry like the others. But Amara didn't shout. She just smiled softly, picked up a towel, and said, "Oh dear, accidents happen. Come, help me clean this." Liam froze. No one had ever asked him politely to do anything before. After a pause, he knelt and helped her wipe the juice. Noah, the quietest of the 3, watched her carefully. When she handed him pancakes with a kind smile, he asked in a small voice, "You're not scared of us, are you?" Amara looked at him gently. "Why should I be scared? You're just boys who need love and someone to believe in you." The words hit Noah's heart like sunlight after rain. He smiled for the first time in a long while. That night, Mr. Kingsley walked past the living room and froze. The 3 boys, who once fought and screamed, were fast asleep on the couch, the arms around each other. Amara sat beside them, stroking their hair. He whispered to himself, amazed, "She's doing what no one ever could." But deep inside, Amara's smile hid a secret that would soon change everything. For the first time in years, the Kingsley mansion was full of laughter. The triplets had changed. They cleaned their rooms, said please and thank you, and even hugged their father. Mr. Kingsley could hardly believe it. All because of Amara, the maid who had done what no one else could. Every morning she cooked their favorite breakfast. Every night she told them stories that made them dream again. The boys loved her like a mother, and she loved them even more. But Amara carried a secret she never told anyone. One evening, Mr. Kingsley called her to his office. "Amara," he said softly. "You've brought peace into my home. I don't know how to thank you." She smiled shyly. "You don't need to, sir. Seeing the boys happy is enough." Mr. Kingsley hesitated, then asked, "Do you have children of your own?" Amara's hands shook slightly. She looked down. "I did," she whispered. "But I lost my daughter 2 years ago. She was only 8. The room fell silent. Mr. Kingsley's heart sank. "I'm sorry," he said gently. Tears filled Amara's eyes. "That's why I couldn't leave your boys. They remind me of her. When I see them laugh, I feel like I can breathe again." That night, thunder roared across the sky. The triplets ran to her room, frightened of the storm. Amara held them close, calming their fears as lightning flashed. But as she did, a pain shot through her chest. She coughed and struggled to breathe, but she didn't let go of the boys. The next morning, she fainted in the kitchen. Mr. Kingsley rushed her to the hospital. The doctor came out hours later, his face serious. "She's very sick," he said quietly. "She's been hiding it for a long time. Her heart is weak." The triplets cried like never before. Ethan held her hand and whispered, "Please, don't leave us. We can't lose you, too." Amara opened her eyes slowly and smiled through tears. "I promised I'd stay for 2 days," she whispered weakly. "But I stayed much longer, because I love you 3. And then her eyes closed again as the rain fell outside the window. The mansion that once echoed with laughter was silent again. After Amara fainted, nothing felt the same. The triplets no longer fought or shouted. They didn't even eat much. They spent their days sitting outside her empty room, waiting for her to come back. Mr. Kingsley tried to cheer them up, but his heart was broken too. He had seen many workers in his life, but no one had touched his family like Amara did. She had turned chaos into peace, anger into love. For days, the boys prayed and waited for the hospital to call. When the phone finally rang, Ethan ran to answer it. It was the doctor. "She's stable," he said, "but her heart is weak. She needs rest and proper care." The boys begged their father to bring her home, and when he finally did, they decorated her room with flowers, balloons, and a big sign that said, "Welcome home, Mom." When Amara opened her eyes and saw it, tears filled her face. "Mom," she whispered. Noah held her hand tightly. "Yes, that's what you are to us now." Amara smiled weakly, her eyes glistening. "I thought I lost my child forever," she said softly, "but now I realize maybe God gave me 3 more. The triplets hugged her gently, afraid to hurt her. From that day, everything changed again. The boys took turns bringing her breakfast in bed. They cleaned the house without being told. They even learned to cook her favorite food. Mr. Kingsley watched in silence, amazed. Every time Amara smiled, the house seemed to glow again. One night, as he stood by her door, he whispered, "You saved my sons, but you also saved me." Amara looked up, smiling kindly. "No, sir. Your family saved me." Outside, the rain had stopped. The moon shone bright over the mansion, like a promise that love could heal anything, even pain. But neither of them knew that a surprise was waiting, one that would change all their lives forever. Weeks passed, and Amara grew stronger each day. The doctor said her heart was healing faster than expected. He smiled and said, "Maybe love really is the best medicine." The triplets never left her side. They read her stories, sang funny songs, and brought her breakfast in bed. Even Ethan, who once acted proud and cold, now smiled and said, "Don't worry, Mom. We'll take care of you." One morning, sunlight poured into her room, warm and golden. The triplets ran in holding a small box. "Open it!" they shouted together. Inside was a golden heart-shaped necklace with her name, Amara, engraved on it. On the back, it read, "For the woman who taught us how to love again." Amara couldn't hold back her tears. She hugged them tightly. "You boys have no idea how happy you've made me." Mr. Kingsley stood by the door, watching them with a soft smile. For the first time in years, he felt peace. Slowly, he walked toward her and said, "Amara, I don't want you to be just our maid anymore. You're family now." Amara looked up, shocked. "Family?" He nodded, tears in his eyes. "You became a mother to my sons, and you healed our broken hearts. This home is yours too." The triplets cheered, jumping around her bed. Noah whispered, "Does that mean you'll never leave us?" Amara smiled warmly. "Never again." That evening, they all sat in the garden under the orange sunset. The boys played. Laughter filled the air, and Amara sat beside Mr. Kingsley, feeling truly at peace. The mansion that once scared everyone now glowed with joy and love, because one brave woman walked in and did what no one else could. She tamed 3 hearts, healed a family, and taught them all that love can turn even pain into something beautiful. And from that day on, the Kingsley home was no longer just a mansion. It was a family.